Welcome back to another edition of Holding Court with Coach Jeff Nelson. I'm J.D. Healy, and Coach, welcome back to town.
Thank you. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back for like 17 days.
Right.
It's pretty awesome for us right now, and as we leave the October grind and head into November, it's really nice to be at home for a couple weeks. We've got 9 left and 5 are at home.
It's great, yes. A couple of games this week, and then next week, a couple of big ones against Wyoming and Colorado. We'll talk about that stuff in a minute. But the road trip, you headed out. You guys did great. You went out to Nevada and come out of that in 4 sets. But really, the way that the team played was very impressive to take Nevada in 4.
Yeah, and Nevada's much improved. They beat Air Force the next night 3-0, and Air Force had just beaten San Diego State. And it's the craziness of the conference this year, but they played well. They came after us, but we really came out and we handled the ball well. We serve-received well. We served tough. Really hit at a high efficiency and took care of the ball. And when we're doing that, when we're clicking like that, we're tough to beat. And we did have it going. Kind of like our match here, they came out in Game 3 and just served the crap out of the ball, and were able to get us back on our heels a little bit, and they got that one, and we bounced right back and won Game 4 really convincingly. And any road win's a good win, and that certainly was, and they were a team that was kind of biting at our heels as we try and get our way back to being in the top 2 or 3 in the conference, and we're about a half game out of that right now. So.
Cassie House, and we've been mentioning her a lot over the past few matches. When we first started off the season, she's just coming out of rehabbing that shoulder, and maybe in the beginning just a little tentative, mentally a little tentative. But boy, she's there 100% now, and she's coming up big for the Lobos.
Yeah, she's leading our team in kills the last 3 or 4 matches, and I don't think it's that she's hitting the ball any harder. I think she's making better selections. I think she's hitting the ball a little higher. Doing a better job getting her feet to the ball, and just keeping it excuse me, in front of her more as she's approaching for her attack.
15 kills for her. Also did a great job on the block. The entire team did a really nice job on the block. I've been saying that a lot over the past few weeks too. This team has really stepped up its defensive game.
Yeah, well, yeah, the blocking particularly on Thursday night at Reno, and was really good. And the floor defense behind it was good. And Cassie's putting up big. For an outside hitter to be blocking at 1.0 a game per game is really, really high, and that's where she's at right now. And it's a great number, and we're moving her around, doing some different blocking schemes with her, but it's working really well, and I think she's enjoying it. But beyond that, Sky Galot's like 3rd or 4th in the conference in blocks per game. She's over 1.5 in the conference, and Simone Henderson is right there with Cassie around 1.0, and so between the 3 of them, they're putting up good numbers. And then Hannah Johnson, for a setter, being at 0.6 is pretty outstanding as well. So I think we're really getting the blocking from those 4. But when we're setting good blocks, doing the right things, we're able to play better floor defense too.
These numbers, 50 kills, 125 attacks, only 15 errors. Are those the kinds of numbers that you like to see from the team?
Well, those are the kind of numbers, if we were putting up every night, we wouldn't be where we are. And I think we're capable of it, but we just haven't been able to engage ourselves consistently. We'll play 2 really good games, and then Game 3 has become a bit of a nemesis for us, and then we come back out in Game 4 and play pretty well again. But we keep kind of opening the door in Game 3, and so that's been a topic of discussion the last few days, and how do we prepare for the post-halftime break.
Maybe you leave the entire team, you guys all just stay out with all of us at Johnson Center, out in the gym during that intermission, because we could definitely keep that team fired up.
Well, I tell you what, we actually at different times have tried many different things. Not that this year, but let them talk amongst themselves, things like that. But each team takes on different traits, and some teams like the 5th game. Some teams start slow, finish strong. Some teams start fast and and then they gotta grind it out. This team has had all kinds of different traits. I'm not really sure what their personality is, but I do know that when they play well, it's really good. I know that we're working really hard. I certainly can't fault that, and I've seen really good progress. Besides Saturday night when we fell off after game 2, I've seen really good progress in the last 5 matches, and a team that's playing consistently better. And so hopefully that will roll over into more wins as we finish out November.
Speaking of Saturday night, you're in San Diego. You take the first two, 25-16, 25-16. Impressive performances by this team. I often wonder, if there's a psychological letdown from a team when you really handle your opponent in the first 2, and then all you have to do is win 1 of the next 3 to get it done. So were they a little flat coming out in the third?
They were, and it was something they talked about in the locker room, that they wanted to come out fast, they wanted to come out strong, and we went to about maybe 6-6, and then I think dropped a few points, and really wore the stress of that. And I couldn't understand why we're wearing the stress of that when we're ahead 2-0 and we'd won the first 2 games so easily. But it happened, and it did, and we really fell off the map. Our passing was outstanding. Julia Warren continues to lead the way there, and just really covers a lot of court and makes it easier on the other passers. And our passing was really good. I mean, that didn't fall off. So usually when you fall, it's because your passing fell off, but that didn't happen. San Diego State picked up their defense, and they put some pressure on us, and we didn't handle it well. We had a great game plan. We executed it in the first 2 games, mixing up our shots, getting it past the block, and forcing San Diego to just play volleyball. And when you do that, they fell away. In game 3, we started going for more of the glory ball type hits and trying to hit straight down, and all of a sudden they're picking up balls and they're blocking us, and the stress is coming back at us. And our outside hitting went from 300 plus with a couple of the kids to down to 100 by the end of the match, and there's just no reason that there should be that kind of fluctuation, and other than letting that stress get to you or not making good decisions. And it happens to every team, but I think that they were pushing so hard to win there, because San Diego State's kind of been our nemesis, and they were pushing so hard to win that they got tight, and it really showed. And we lost game 4 by 2 points, and then in game 5 just went back and forth, but we just didn't play well in game 5. We hit 0 in game 5 after hitting 300 plus in 2 games and 280 in another. In game 5 we hit 0.
In that third game, what I saw, and I did get a chance to see that the Nevada game actually didn't stream, so we could only get the updated stats. But I watched the San Diego State game, and in the third, San Diego didn't do anything too terribly flashy. They just kept putting the ball back over the net. They just kept pushing it back over the net and trying to force our girls to make some kind of an error. In the fourth, I thought we had that one. I really thought we had it in the fourth set. That was a tough battle there. But maybe the takeaway from this is because we've done this before too, is that anytime you win the first 2 and then you wind up losing the match, it's possible. If somebody can do it, we can do it, and we have that kind of team.
And we've done that, actually. Idaho State's like 50 in the RPI. They're having a great year. They're winning the Big Sky, and we played them out at USC, dropped the first 2, and came back and played phenomenal and won the next 3. So it does happen, and it happens to good teams. And we got back in practice yesterday and worked really hard and said we got to get back after it and look at all the good things that have happened the past few weeks. Our numbers have gone up late in the season. Usually they fall off. We had a good little win streak going. We got to get another one going.
Yep.
And put ourselves back in, position we want to be in. We can be 7-4 in conference after this week if we do what we need to do against a good Air Force team, against San Jose, which is a much improved team, and be right back in second or third place.
We're going to be like that at the end of this week. I can guarantee. I could feel it in my bones.
Good.
Before we get there, let's talk about the alumni of the week. And this week it's Kelly Thurkelson, played 03 to 06, out of Minnesota, your home state.
Yeah, that's the first thing I want to talk about. I mean, I've met Kelly. She's a great person, and obviously she's from Minnesota, so that goes
Like
without
two check
saying,
marks.
right? Kelly lives in Eagan, Minnesota, and that's where she's from. She moved back there. She's actually teaching second grade there, and then coaching at her high school alma mater. Kelly's married with 2 boys. Had the most recent one just 6 months ago. They are 2.5 and 6 months old. Cute guys. I've seen lots of pictures of them on Facebook and all that. And what I do when we do this segment is I send out questions to the people that have agreed to do it, and
Right.
and they answer. And Kelly had a lot of really good answers, and definitely has fond memories of her time here, and a lot of friendships. She mentioned the names of several friends, and but one of the things she said she remembers the most is how much the Albuquerque community loves the Lobos, and how much they support volleyball in this community. Like I said, she talked about her teammates, the great experiences with them, and some of the things they did. She said her most memorable game was beating BYU at Johnson Center her senior year. BYU was ranked 18th, and the Lobos were, I want to say, about 500 then, and they came in that night and beat BYU, and she said that was really exciting for her senior year. And the last thing I asked her is, the advice she had for our current players, future Lobos, and things like that. And one of the things she said that's been important to her is staying connected to the game. She said, that when she went into the real world, we're in the college atmosphere, and there is a real world out there, and I do think it's a little different, and it's a bit of a shock sometimes. And she said the real world was a shock for her, and so she said stay connected to the game. She said coaching at her high school has been her connection, along with getting to play here and there. Hasn't been as much the last couple of years because she's been having her family, but I will say this, she's a really nice person. She's a neat person, and has been very supportive from a distance of the Lobo program. I wish her well up there. I know her high school team's really good, and they'll probably be in the state tournament again in Minnesota. And
Awesome.
So I wish her tons of luck, and she has a beautiful family. And Kelly, if you're listening, thanks for getting back to us, and it's a pleasure to get to talk about you today.
Yeah, Kelly, thanks. And we get a lot of great volleyball players out of Minnesota, so keep your eyes peeled for us.
Yeah.
Let's get right into. Well, we kick things off tonight. So it's a Tuesday, Thursday schedule this week as opposed to a Thursday, Saturday. So everything's sort of mashed together. You guys just come back, get a couple of practices in.
One practice.
One practice in, and then we get right into it with tonight's game at Air Force. Before we do that, the national anthem tonight's kind of a special one.
It is. My son is a senior at La Cueva, and they've sang it every year at a different game, and this year they're singing tonight for the Air Force match, and it's his high school group, the La Cueva Choir, but in particular it's the Main Street Show Choir, which actually both of my sons were a part of for the last 7 years, and so this will be his last time to do that. Their senior year, everything's the last time, so I'll probably pay a little closer attention tonight.
Does everybody know who Lobo Louie is?
No, you mean Big Louie?
No, Big Louie, excuse me.
No, nobody knows who Big Louie is, and I'm, he does a really great job. We should maybe keep it that way. I don't know, but yeah, let's just say that's another part of the family and leave it at that.
So a lot of fun here tonight at Johnson Center. Tonight's game is at 6:30.
Tonight's game's at 6:30. We actually moved it up so that Air Force could get a flight out, because They're going through the same schedule we are. We both traveled this week. They had to go home. They played San Diego and Reno, went home, and then had to fly back down here. And the schedule and travel can get brutal. And this fast turnover like this is a tough one. And
Yes.
It's hard on both teams. And the fact that they could get home tonight, and when they called and asked us, we were more than happy to do that, because I think those kids at Air Force have really brutal schedules, and anything we can do to help, I think, is a good thing.
Clement is their senior outside hitter, 355 kills, 25 aces, and 170 digs. Obviously a player that you're going to be keying on.
We are. She's an outstanding athlete. I think her name is Okokwe. She's a high flyer. She's really improved over the last couple of years to becoming one of the more dominating players in the conference this year. We do have to gear our defense to that, because her and the other outside hitter have over 1,500 swings, which is over about 2/3 of the swings that their team gets. So, we spent a lot of time yesterday focusing our defense on playing balls out of the left side attack. We feel like that's where they're going to go, and that's their bread and butter. And it's kind of like when we had Chantel last year. Although Chantel didn't have I don't think quite as many attempts at this point in the season as Okokwe has, but she is an outstanding player, and the rest of their team does a good job. They manage their roles well, and they're improved, and they keep improving. And Matt's done a great job, and so we've got to be ready to go, and we've got to be ready to manage one of the, I think, premier players in the conference right now.
You're going to keep an eye on both edges, but you can't take your eye off the middle because Taylor Parker's in the middle. She's a senior also. She's got 154 kills and 96 blocks. She's another one you got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we do, and her hitting percentage numbers are good. She doesn't get as many swings, so it's not quite as much of a focal point, because you look at the attempts and how many touches kids have and things like that, and hers are lower, but she is a very good player who plays at a high efficiency, so we have to manage that as well.
So that's Air Force tonight at 6:30, and then Thursday night, San Jose, the Spartans come to town.
Yeah, and they're, again, another really improved team. They were picked near the bottom of the conference, and they might have been picked last even, come to think of it, but they've improved. They're probably in 7th or 8th place, and they've battled everyone. They've won some good matches. They beat Fresno State last week. So it's a match we have to be prepared for. We've played them already, unlike Air Force, who this is the first time we're playing them. San Jose we've played already. We kind of have a handle on the things they do, and I think we'll be well prepared for that match. But they have 2 or 3 international players. They're much more athletic than they've been in the past, and so they're dangerous.
They've got Roy and Gamma, basically they're 2 big hitters, but I was just looking at, and I think it's Yavianales Rosado is their libero, 306 digs.
Yeah, she does a nice job. She's definitely kind of seems to be in charge of the team, and is kind of the feisty one out there. Roy actually went with us to Europe this summer. She's a really good athlete, good player, good person, and very athletic. And so she's someone you have to manage. She plays on the right side, takes some swings on the left side as well. And I think that for us with San Jose State, we've just got to come out and play a really good, solid, clean game, pass the ball well, and play clean at the net.
Coach, other than the fact that we've got Main Street singing that national anthem tonight, and all the usual festivities at the Lobo games in Johnson Center, is there anything special about either one of these games?
Well, tonight with Air Force, I know we have a whole bunch of military people coming in. I think we even have a busload of guys coming from the base out at Clovis.
Oh, neat.
So, yeah, I haven't been briefed 100% on that, but before I left last week, that was my understanding what was going to happen, and so that'll be obviously a neat feature. And on Thursday night, we're trying to work on something, and we're going to promote it on social media, but something for, Halloween, maybe a Halloween costume contest or something for the kids or whatever. But everything's so jam-packed this week, we're just trying to kind of knock them down one at a time. So
The treat we're looking for this week is 2 big wins.
yeah, for sure.
No doubt about it. We want you to come out and join us, folks. Johnson Center tonight, 6:30, and then Thursday night against San Jose, the Spartans at 7 p.m. here at Johnson Center. Come on down. We want to have you. If you can't make it, go to golobos.com. Of course, we'll have the game streaming for you live. Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you.
And, this week and next week, we got 4 games all here at home. You got plenty of time to come out and join us. It's a big homestand. So until next time, folks, we'll see you on Holding Court with Coach Jeff Nelson.